50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, good to be back. Welcome, everyone, to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager, episode 423. Today is Monday, July 22nd. Want to give a big shout out to my sister. Happy birthday. Won't say the number. You know, women do not like it when they give the age out, but happy birthday to my sister, Adriana. But E, good to be with you, kid. How you doing?
Yeah, Doe, great to be here on this live Monday morning with you guys. I want to get into a recap of pretty good weekend in sports, and let's get into it, Doe.
Yeah, let's not waste any more time. A lot to break down. We'll recap some things. Short slate. We do have day baseball here on a Monday. 13 games. We have day baseball as well, and we continue our two-a-days in the AFC South. I think Elvis's favorite division. We got the Colts today and the Jaguars, so we'll talk about that. But yeah, during the week, your Nets made some moves. The Memphis Grizzlies, they traded Zaire Williams in a 2030 second round pick to Dallas to the Brooklyn Nets for Muhammad Dikaya. Sources tell ESPN Williams, he was a 10th round pick back in 2021. Nets, they're also going to send the Grizzly the rights to another guy they drafted, their 54th pick in 2024. So, I mean, this guy has some upside. I mean, he was the 10th overall pick back in 2021. He now comes here to the Brooklyn Nets. Any excitement level, I guess, for you, Elvis, as a Brooklyn Nets fan?
To be honest, it's a good addition. I don't even know who's the guy we traded off for him. So to me, it's a great deal for us. I think Zaire Williams is a solid role player, and he could develop to something special. Maybe not an all-star superstar, but definitely a key role player possibly.
Yeah, I mean, and someone who else did turn into a really good player, Evan Mobley. He agreed to a 5-year, $224 million rookie extension. Could be worth up to $269 million with incentives. He averaged 16 points, 9.3 rebounds, 2.5 blocks in 12 NBA playoff games. He's only 23, Elvis. He was first team all defense and third team all defensive player of the year back in 2023. He was a third overall pick in that 2021 draft. He's one of 4 players with 300 blocks and 150 steals since entering the league. Do you know the other 3?
Since entering the league. So you entered the league, what?
2021.
2020. Oof, that's tough. 100 steals. See,
100. That's the thing. 150 steals.
See, I would have said Anthony Davis, but
he is one. He's one.
Oh, Anthony Davis played enough games for 150 steals. Wow.
Yeah.
see, and steals. Jared Jackson Jr.
That is 2. You are on roll. Let's go.
That and third,
you're not usually good at these.
Yeah. So AD, Jared Jackson Jr. It's the steals. That's the tough one. So it got to be somebody that can move a little bit. Another big man, AD, Jared Jackson Jr. I'm going to say Bam.
No.
Damn, not Bam? Big man who can move.
When I say the name, you're going to be like,
Rudy.
Yeah, exactly.
Long ass.
Yeah, so it's Rudy, Jared Jackson Jr., AD, and Evan Mobley. Only 4 players since 2021, 300 blocks and 150 steals. So I think he's worth the contract, man. I really do.
My opinion, honestly, is he worth $224 million, possibly $250? In my opinion, no. Is he a solid player? Yes. Is he a great piece for what the Cavaliers are building? Absolutely. But to me, to get a supermax rookie extension like that, to me, in my opinion, you just had to perform a little better in the big games. And let's just be honest, they'll come playoff time. These last 2 seasons, I can't remember Evan Mobley showing up and giving you a great game. The kid didn't even average a double-double, and you're giving him $250 million. So, in my opinion, for me, to get that type of money, you have to be a difference maker. And to me, Evan Mobley is not a difference maker night in and night out.
I'll say this: at least he showed up. Not
No,
like
he's
Jared.
great. No, he's great. He's
Yeah.
good. It's just to get $250 million, you got to be a difference maker night in, night out.
Is he a top 10 number 4 in the league? Like, because his true position is the
It's the
4.
four. Jared
Yeah.
Allen is the 5. In my opinion, yes, but skill set, no.
So some developing to do. He's still 23 though,
yeah,
kid.
he's 23, but there's a lot of, I'm not gonna say a lot, but there's much better players who don't get that type of money, in my opinion.
And I agree. I do think he's worth the money. I think it's kind of crazy if I'm being honest.
If he would have got a 160, no, I wouldn't complain at all. That would have been a great deal for both sides. But if you're Evan Mobley, you're gonna take the rookie max extension. I just don't feel like that's the
he's
best.
Making more than Jalen Brunson. Let's just put it like that, which is crazy.
Exactly. I think you just ended it perfectly. Yeah. He's making more money than Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
Simple. He's making more money than Ja.
Yeah, exactly.
Ja's because of the suspension, because he couldn't make All NBA last season because of the injury. His rookie extension is only 190. Evan Mobley was able to get the 224. That was the same contract Ja was supposed to get, but he wasn't eligible. Evan Mobley made all defensive, so you're eligible.
It was crazy. By the way, did you see that close call on, I think it was Saturday, United States, they squeaked out a win against South Sudan?
Dale, I watched it. Game started at 3:00. I was in tune. In the first quarter, I was like, you know what? I saw some players like Jones, Gabriel, former Laker, that kid Thor, he could play. South Sudan got some talent. One of the I'm not sure if he was the head coach, but Luol Deng is part of this, and he's making some moves in South Sudan. Small country, just went independent about 11, 13 years ago. This country doesn't have an indoor court. Let me repeat that. The country of South Sudan doesn't have an indoor court. It was about 23 seconds away from upsetting, some people say, the greatest country in the world in basketball, and it's the USA. So I want to just give huge shout out to the coaching staff, Luol Deng, and all the players on the team of South Sudan for playing their hearts out and bringing light, not just to them and possibly getting other deals as players, but shining light to South Sudan. I guarantee there's going to be donations of fundraisers or just people in general who's going to be willing to donate and send money to South Sudan to build the program. Because if those players was able to compete at that level against the best team in the world in the USA versus countless of Hall of Famers, imagine what the next generation could be if you put some more money and attention behind it. So I just want to give a huge shout out to South Sudan for an amazing, credible game.
Plus 43.5 was the lock. I mean, it was crazy because even at halftime, they were down, I think, like 13-15. Yeah, they were still 27-point favorites. I was like, that just doesn't make sense. Like,
that doesn't add up.
Yeah.
That doesn't add up.
I mean, I didn't really think we played a really good game. I think they took them kind of light. Drew Holiday, his numbers don't really jump out, but I think he led the comeback in his defense. You and I were talking over the weekend. We were like, Drew Holiday was the man.
Yeah, real quick, in the second half, Steve Kerr started the bench, and the bench was honestly the ones who was able to start.
We've talked about this. The bench has been better.
The bench has been better. Let's just play a little better, just because I feel like they all were familiar and they played together in the 2022 FIBA or the 2020, the Young USA team with, Tyrese and Mitchell and everything. So some of those bench players have played together. Besides possibly all-star games, none of the starters played together. I understand KD and LeBron played, 4 years ago in the Olympics or 8 years ago in the Olympics, but that was some time ago. So I just feel like, with the USA team, yes, possibly, took them a little lightly, but at the end of the day, we need to find a consistent, 5 or even like a 7-man rotation, because we can't just have a lackluster first half and then just go out and score 38 points in the third quarter.
We'll get bounced.
Yeah, you able to pull off a win against South Sudan, but is that going to be good enough to win against like Australia, Canada,
Germany,
Spain, Italy, Greece? I don't know. So that's my question. Yes, you know, great they were able to pull it through, but I think you got to give credit to South Sudan.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that guy Jones, Carlick Jones, triple double.
Um,
Get him into the league. 15.
he
If he's doing this against Hall of Famers, this man deserves to be in the league. 15 points, 11 boards, 11 assists. Even the guy,
Thor,
Merrill Shakur or whatever, he dropped 24.
bro,
I
I'm
mean,
telling you, they got some
Thor had
talent.
14. Yeah, they got talent.
They got talent. I feel like definitely some NBA teams got to at least take a look. Even like some European teams. I know Jones. He signed to a club in Serbia, so maybe he gets something. But I, to me, it was just flat out amazing how well they played and they came together.
Yeah.
Against arguably the greatest team in the world.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. They play today on Monday against Germany, who's ranked the third best team in the world. So can't start slow against them. I'll tell you that much. They will lose. By the way, did you catch the WNBA All-Star Team WNBA? They wound up beating the women's national team. It was kind of like I guess a warm up for the Olympics for the women's national team. But WNBA, the team WNBA, they didn't play around. They were really taking it to them. Ukulele dominated 34 points in the second half, most in the WNBA All-Star game history, all in the second half, which is crazy. Angel Reese, double-double again, first double-double in an All-Star game. Caitlin Clark didn't have the best game shooting-wise, but she did have 10 assists, so it did help the team. Nice little assist to Angel Reese down low. It was nice to see them actually play together, but yeah, Team WNBA did win.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take too much. At the end of the day, it's the All Star game deal, but I think Team USA Women's is still gonna go on and win gold, win by like a 30-point win margin. We'll see about that. Give credit to Team WNBA, like you said. Shawty had 8 threes in the second half alone. Yeah, she scored 34, but to hit 8 threes, I understand it's an All Star game, people, but to hit 8 threes, go outside right now or your open gym and try to hit 8 threes.
Yo, she couldn't miss.
And 13 shots. Try to hit 8 out of 13. Wide open. Nobody has to be there. Try to do it. It's hard. It's hard. So the fact that she was able to me, that's impressive. Caitlin Clark, to be honest, she wasn't, she was passing the hell out of the ball, but offensively, she wasn't. I'm going to go by what she said during the interview. She wants a break, Bill. I personally think Caitlin Clark's about to enjoy herself for about 3 weeks or so. To the Olympics is over. I think she's gonna enjoy her break. But overall, I like it was an exciting game. More eyes are on it. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't be too worried about Team USA though.
Yeah, no, me either. Hopefully they do go out there and get gold, represent United States. But yeah, we were all talking about her being snubbed from the All-Star. I think she's actually enjoying not being on the Olympic team. Yeah, I said All-Star, the Olympic team, just because, like you said, she went from national championship game. Back to back, getting drafted within a month and going right into camp and starting within another month. So she hasn't had a break. Yeah, I think she's going to come out the second half on fire. So yeah, good call there. Let's go to the NFL. Everyone got signed. There will be no rookie holdouts. There was a couple guys holding out. JJ McCarthy was one of them. He got signed. Dallas Turner, another first-round guy, both on Minnesota Vikings. They both got their contracts. So did offensive tackle, number 18 overall from the Cincinnati Bengals. He got his contract. So no rookie holdouts this camp or this upcoming training camp. All teams will report this Wednesday, the 24th. So we're locked and loaded. And then next week, next Thursday is the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah, teams are already in camp. My question is, why would JJ even hold out for this long?
The fully guaranteed.
I understand that aspect, but I don't understand why wouldn't you want to come in right away as a rookie, knowing that you're most likely going to get the starting role and you want to get in tune quick with your teammates. At the end of the day, you got Jordan Addison. Hopefully he slows down off the field, but you do have Jordan Addison, could possibly be a stud. You got Justin Jefferson, who is no doubt the best wide receiver I could say in the world right now, honestly. To me, it's just a little surprising that you will hold out. But hey, to each his own. Glad they got their guaranteed money, as they should. All athletes and all sports should all be under fully guaranteed contracts. The owners get their fully guaranteed money before the season. with the TV deals, so should the players.
What did Jay-Z say? I'm a businessman, right? Or something
Yeah,
like
I'm a
that.
businessman, not a businessman.
Exactly. So yeah, they're looking out for their money. I get it, but yeah, as a rookie, I feel like they don't have leverage, but according to them, they do have leverage as well. So yeah. And who's to say? You said jumping right in that starter job. Not if my man Sam Darnold has anything to say for it.
Honestly,
Say Sam Darnold goes out there in training camp and
no,
lights it up.
you know what. I think Sam Darnold will be the starting quarterback week 1.
Wow, hot take.
Not realistically. One, I think he at least earned / deserved that role. He's a vet. We know Sam Donald. Not judging for what we saw on the Jets. I liked a little bit what I saw in Carolina from Sammy D. You know what I'm saying? Like it was some moments where I was like, you know what, Sammy D could be a starting quarterback somewhere in the right circumstances. Maybe T.J. Hawkinson, maybe Addison, maybe Justin Jefferson. Is that right situation? Then we'll see about it.
Yeah.
But I
We'll
think
figure it out.
JJ should at least have a 50-50 fair shot to start.
Yeah, 100%. They don't draft him at that number for nothing. So yeah, and they got a run game, Aaron Jones.
Atlanta drafted somebody for nothing.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
You can't say that. You can't say that no more.
A Ravens type move that happened over the weekend. I think it fits perfect to what they want to do. They bring in 2-time Pro Bowler safety Eddie Jackson. It's a 1-year deal, probably on the vet minimum. Safety had 6 defensive touchdowns with the Bears. Now he brings his talents to a very good secondary with Kyle Hamilton in Baltimore. I love the move. I think it brings a little veteran lockership to that team as well, and secures that secondary for Baltimore.
Yeah, I think this is a great move for Baltimore. It's kind of like, bringing in Earl Thomas a couple years ago late in the season, just because it brings that veteran presence and it secures that secondary deal. Think about it. Some people can make the case Baltimore might have one of the best secondaries in all the football right now. So we got to give them credit on that. We know John Harbaugh. We know OC's gone. DC's gone. A lot of moving pieces, especially in the O-line. Even the defensive line, a couple pieces gone. So a lot of departures for this Ravens team, but I still expect them to be a hard-nosed top defense in the NFL, especially with that secondary. So I'm not going to, take too much from it, but I think it's a great signing.
100%, especially on the vet minimum, only a 1 year. If it doesn't work out, you wash your hands clean with it.
Shit, if it doesn't work out, he's out of there week 9.
Yeah, exactly. Surprising thing, I think, and we just talked about the Miami Dolphins, but they bring in 2-time Pro Bowler linebacker Shaquille Barrett. And then I think a week in, he informed the Dolphins that he wanted to spend more time with his family and he was retiring from the NFL. Kind of came out of nowhere. He's also a 2-time Super Bowl champion. He played 4 seasons with Denver. He played 5 with Tampa Bay. He's a great linebacker. I thought it was really going to help. And that was the problem with Miami. We were talking about getting pressure to the quarterback. They bring in a guy like Shaquille Barrett, who has veteranship, who's kind of been there, done that. And then he goes out and retires. He's going to go spend time with his family. And, I'll say this. I think a lot of times players, they retire too late into their career. They don't walk away at the right time. And maybe this is a different circumstance. Maybe Shaquille Barrett is walking away. He probably has a few years left in the tank, but he's probably walking away with his body, his mind, his mental. He has the Super Bowls. He has a big payday already. I mean, what's really left for Shaquille Barrett? So I think he's walking away at the right time.
Yeah, I personally think, Shaquille is at that tail end of his career. I still think I agree with you. He still got some gas left in the tank, but maybe he came into camp, and then after a few days, he was like, you know what?
This ain't for me.
In Miami, it's going to be 90, 94, 90 plus every day. At least in Tampa, he might get, 80 something, maybe 2 hours north. But, in Miami, it's going to be hot all day, all night, in pads. Still, you know what? He probably woke up after the 4th day, was like, you know what? I ain't beat for this shit. I'm good. I want to go spend time with my family. I'm about to go on vacation for 3 months.
Yeah.
And I think that's what ends up happening. Like you said, though, he's a 2-time Super Bowl winning champ. Yeah. At times he was a great linebacker. I don't know if he'll go to the Hall of Fame, but I wouldn't be shocked if Tampa might, hang his jersey, or even Denver. Who knows? So I think Shaq is fulfilled with his career and he's grateful for it. And I think he did one hell of a job. So why not walk away when you're still able to walk away?
Yeah.
He could run away.
Yeah, literally. He's
Yeah.
had his paydays. And like you said, there are a lot of Hall of Famers that are in the Hall and they don't even win or even come close to winning a Super Bowl. He's done it twice now. So, yeah, good career. I agree. I don't know if he gets to the Hall of Fame,
real
though.
quick, people, just to highlight something, let's not forget, in the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs, Travis Kelce was held to honestly I'm going to say one of his worst games of his career, but let's just say it was the stat total we did not expect. He was held to a low game. Guess who guarded him majority of the time, Bill?
Shaquille Barrett.
Shaquille Barrett was running down the field right along with Travis Kelce.
And that's crazy because normally you don't put a linebacker to guard one of the best tight ends ever. A tight end in general, for that matter, but then Travis Kelce of all of them. So, yeah, he could definitely defend. He could go out there in coverage. And he could also get to the quarterback as well. So I thought he had a great career. And like you said, he ain't walking home. He's running home. But, yeah, good career for Shaq Barrett. But, kid, let's get into these plays. Before we do that, though, a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around the golf with the boys or an elderberry watching USA versus Germany, it does not matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with our Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, let's get to these plays. Like I said, 13 game slate here on a Monday. We got some day baseball, which I am extremely grateful for. And I'm going to start there with that first game. New York Yankees, they are hosting the Tampa Bay Rays. And for whatever reason, the Tampa Bay Rays just have the New York Yankees number. Zach Little, he's not the best, but Carlos Rodon is not good either. Gives up the long ball a lot. They rake against lefties. I don't know. They're 10-21 in the last 22 games. One of the worst records, them and the White Sox, the Yankees, the last month and a half. So -164, they do not deserve that be that big of a favorite. I was able to get a +147 with the Rays. Anything at a +140 or better, I think the Rays are live here again. So on the road, I'm gonna take the Rays and continue to fade the Yankees. So first play, give me Tampa.
Yeah, I'm be honest. I kind of lean that way as well. I lean the under 8.5 little. For some reason, he pitches well against the Yankees, and the bat's been quiet, like you said, for about month and a half now. Tampa playing a little better. I lean Tampa, but I also lean the under 8.5. I end up staying away. My first game of the day will be 6:40 start. Our boy Schubel on the mound against the Cleveland Indians. Carrasco going for the Indians. Over unders at 7, short number. It's at 7. Detroit's our favorite on the road, though, and I'm going there. I'm going a little different. Give me Schubel and the Detroit Tigers first 5 at -138. Don't get me wrong, I do think the Cleveland Guardians are the better team, but to be honest, you can't deny the fact that Detroit's been playing better as of late. Winners out of the 4 of the last 5, and with Schubel on the mound, and you always got it right on his side. So I think first 5 is the play for me, Dill. So I'm gonna go Detroit first 5 -138 on the money line.
Yeah, I took Scooble and the Tigers straight up on the money line. I got them a little earlier in the day. They were kind of underdogs, -104 on the money line, -124. They are getting up there, and money is coming in, obvious for good reasons. He's the leading Cy Young candidate for the AL. I think he will win it. He's been dominant this season, and I think that's why the number's as low. Still worries me that it's 7.
It
would
is
not,
low.
yeah, it's low. Like I could see a 7.5, but 7. That's a little worrisome. I would stay away from that, but I do think the Tigers are the right side, especially in that first 5. I like the first 5 angle. Cookie Carrasco has not been good. Over a 5 ERA, 3-7 at home. And the Guardians have kind of been struggling lately coming out of the All-Star break. So, yeah, good call there. I'm on the same side. I'm just going to take them full game. It's at -124 right now. I see -20s So shop around, but I do like the Tigers as well for my second play. And then my last play of the day, another 640 star. Pittsburgh Pirates hosting the St. Louis Cardinals. Andre Palat going against Mitch Keller. Minus 125 for the Pirates, plus 108 for the Cardinals. Over under is at 8.5. I'm gonna take Mitch Keller and the Pirates here, minus 125. I think they are the right side. They lost on Sunday to avoid the sweep, but coming out of the gate, took 2 or 3 from a very good Philadelphia Phillies team. They're scoring runs, and Mitch Keller has been one of their best pitchers this season. So at home, 10-5 against a Cardinal team. I'm still looking to fade. I've been saying it all year. I'm still not high on them. I'm still going to continue to fade them. Give me the Pirates here, minus 125 at home.
Like it, Dill. Like it. Next game for me, 7:40 start. Philadelphia Phillies taking on the Minnesota Twins. You got Ranger Suarez on the mound with Bailey Ober going for the Twins. Over under sitting at 8.5. Philly short favorite. They were heavier favorites earlier. Line went down. Phillies minus 115 on the money line. Minnesota minus 102. I'm gonna go with Ranger Suarez on the mound, minus 115 on the money line. I'm gonna take him. To me, he's one of the best lefties in baseball. Been playing Phillies. You heard what I picked them to do last episode in Minnesota. Like I said, this is not the team that, don't get me wrong, they're 10 games over 500, but I expected them to be a little better. What I saw these last 5 games ain't what I like to see from Minnesota. So I'm gonna probably keep fading them. Give me Philadelphia on the road, minus 115 on the money line. And then my last play of the day will be going to Chicago. The Milwaukee Brewers taking on the Chicago Cubs. You got Assad going for the Cubs. You got Tobias Myers for the Brewers. Over on the sitting at 8.5. Brewers slight favorites, minus 110. Cubs catching 102 on the money line, plus 102. I'm gonna go with another road slight favorite. I'm gonna go with the Brewers on the money line, Dale. I'm gonna go with Myers taking them on the road. Don't get me wrong, I do respect the side. I do like a side. I just don't trust the Cubs right now. So give me the Brewers, who's finally getting the ball rolling, looking a little better. Give me the Brew Crew minus 116 on the money line. Still love them right now, minus 120. For the people listening, get it now before the number gets higher.
Yeah, I do like that. I was looking at that game. I thought it would be kind of a trap. I expected, even though Tobias Myers isn't the best, and Javi Assad has been one of the bright spots for the Cardinals. Coming off a sweep, coming off the All-Star game, like you said, they're playing good baseball, and they've averaged 8 runs per game since coming out of All-Star break. So the bats have been hot for the Brewers. I do like that play as well. But that's all you got, right? 5 plays?
Yeah, and I have a lean.
Okay.
I think the Red Sox just got swept from the Dodgers.
I was just gonna. I didn't want to bring it up. Jared Duran has been raking though.
Yeah, to be honest, we played well. It's the Dodgers. Their backs are woken up at home, so you gotta give them credit. We could have not first 2 games we could have won. Yesterday we kind of got whooped, but I think we bounced back against the Rockies. Still, to be honest, minus 166 is a little too rich for me on the money line. To be honest, I think we bounced back. Like you said, our bats have been raking. It's just, our bullpen and our pitching. It's just, honestly, gotta give credit to the Dodgers. The Dodgers lineup is just loaded. I think we bounced back against the Rockies. Possibly win 3 straight as well. I think I'm gonna sprinkle something on the run line, minus 108 there. I think we do for a bounce back. And why not in Colorado with Hulk on the mound? So sprinkle on the run line, minus 108.
I was just going to say, I think this is a good bounce back series for you guys. You guys just can't lose 6 in a row for my bet, but I don't think that will happen this year. You guys are too good. The bats weren't the problem. It was the pitching. It was the pitching that was the problem.
And I'm going to give credit to the Dodgers bats on that. I'm not even going to blame the pitching just because that's just a hard lineup to get through. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, no, you're right. All right, kid, let's get to your favorite division, the NFC South, the AFC South. You like them for some reason. We will start with your team, the Indianapolis Colts. Over under, we'll start with the Super Bowl. Plus 55-1. I am not touching that. To win the AFC 27-1. No. Division, they have the 3rd best odds behind Jacksonville and Houston at plus 330. Win total's at 8.5. So we'll start there. Outside Super Bowl, conference, and division, are you touching any of the 3 before we get to the win total?
Not Dale. I got some expectations for this Colts team, but those are out of the
little high. Yeah. All right. So let's start at the win total because it's at 8.5. they bring in Shane Steichen last year. They bring in John Budacooter as well. He's the first year offensive coordinator. Gus Bradley, second year as defensive coordinator. They won 9 games last year. They went 9-8. With Anthony Richardson being hurt for most of the game, and that's a big jump up from 2022 when they went 4-12. So big step up. I thought bringing in Shane Steichen had really elevated and brought a offensive mind and culture to this team. Anthony Richardson will be healthy. Out of the 17 games, man, they are favored in 8. They're underdogs in 9 of them right now. They don't have the toughest schedule, middle of the pack schedule, not the hardest. But what do you like for their win total?
To be honest, Dale, I'm going to go over. Give me the over 8.5 at -104, Dale. This team, like you said, it was able to go over this mark last season, winning 9 games without their starting quarterback, who was a lottery pick. Without Jonathan Taylor, who missed, the first 6 games of the season, 5 games of the season, due to contract negotiations. Still, he's under contract. He'll be ready to go week 1. We already know. Coming off this injury, I expect Anthony Richardson and the play calling to be a little better, more of a drop back passing than Jalen Hurts style of play. What we saw from the head coach in Philadelphia, I think he's going to lean towards more the passing game and running the ball with Jonathan Taylor behind one of the best offensive lines in football. I feel like with a healthy Jonathan Taylor, a healthy Anthony Richardson, Michael Pittman Jr., they got some pieces there. My boy Pierce as well. I like this Colts team, Bill. I'm not saying they're going to win the division. I'm not saying they're going to win the conference. All I'm saying is I like the over 8.5 very much. I like this young team. I think they could possibly be special. Maybe down the road. For this season alone, they'll give me the over 8.5 -104.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I'm taking the over as well, -104. I'm going to take them to get into the playoffs as well at +138. I think they sneak
Somebody
in.
high on them, not just me.
I think they're good, man. I really do. I think Anthony Richardson is the big reason the Colts could outperform expectation this year. We know how good of a runner he is. I think that goes without saying. I think he does a little too much running. But I do think with a whole offseason to recover, get better as a passer, because we all know he could run. If he could develop and take that next step to being a more accurate and precise thrower, I think sky is the limit for how good this offense could be. And I think the scheme Shane Steichen could develop and create with him is we're going to see stuff that we haven't really seen in a while with this offense. And like I said, I'm very high on Shane Steichen. This is another reason why I like the total over, because, he set the Colts up for success. In his first year last year, he had elite running schemes. The team ranked in the top 10 in yards per carry, EPA per rush, and success rate against top 10 rushing defenses. Against top 10 rushing defenses, the Colts went 5-2. I mean, that's just gonna get better. And like you mentioned, Jonathan Taylor missed some time against with contract negotiation. He has his deal. It's just gonna be better this season. They have a top 5 offensive line. I mean, and I think they could also really start fast. They were top 10 in success rate and EPA per play in the first half. So they start games out really good.
And I think a middle pack defense. You can make the case they have a top 15 defense.
Yeah, I think they lack a little bit in their secondary, but their front 7, top 10 front 7, outside of Michael Pittman Jr.
Pierce. I like the tight end as well. What's his name? He had a Woods. He had a huge couple games at the end of the season in the back half with Gardner Minshew. So I like the team overall, though. I think top to bottom as a 52-man roster is a pretty solid team.
Yeah, they got Michael Pittman, obviously their number 1. They got Pierce, he's probably their 2, but they did just draft Adrian Mitchell, the kid from Texas. He's good. He's going to be plugged in right away and start. I like Adrian Mitchell. We talked about him. They got Josh Downs in the slot as well. The only really thing I worry about with this team is receivers. They're ranked 22nd in the league, and their secondary is ranked 30th. I worry about their secondary. They did lose Stephon Gilmore. But like I said, they start out very fast. So if you start out fast and you have a big lead, I think you're going to be you're going to win more games than you're going to lose. And, for his former team, Shane Steichen's former team, the Eagles, they saw a massive drop off to these stats with him leaving. So that's why Eagles started off so slow and the Colts started off very fast. It wasn't because of the head coach, it was because of Shane Steichen. So I think another year of coaching, creativity, the health of Anthony Richardson, I think this team could take it to the next level. I don't know if they make a big run, but I see another 9-8, maybe 10-7 type year. But I think they get into the playoffs as well at plus 138. I'm going to take a flyer on them as well to get into the playoffs, kid.
I love it, though. I love it. I thought I was the only one that saw the vision.
You like them to get into the playoffs then as well?
I think it's worth a sprinkle. To me, it all comes down to the AFC North because we know that's a powerhouse there. And to be honest, your Jets in Miami, though, like I said, I think Miami wins the division, but I think the Jets and Bills will be right there in the wild card hunt. And then the AFC North, though, it's just, woof. It could be 3 teams out the AFC North. With the Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, and the Browns.
Yeah.
So it all depends, but I can't deny how much I do like the Colts.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think there's a lot to like about him. That's the thing. Let's go to player props, though, because there's some guys, like I said, we could take advantage of, obviously being Jonathan Taylor one, but we will start with Anthony Richardson. I think there's a lot of props on him. We'll start with his rushing props because we all know he has very good legs. 525.5 rushing yards, minus 112 both ways, 7.5 rushing touchdowns, plus money on the over, plus 112 on the over, minus 142 on the under. Last year, Anthony Richardson, like I said, he was hurt, but, he still rushed for 136 yards and 4 touchdowns. He almost got over that in just a few games. So what do you like here for Anthony Richardson running?
Running, Dill, to be honest, I ended up staying away from his rush total, but I think he'll go over his touchdown mark. I think it's at, 7.5?
Yeah.
Right? Don't get me wrong. I do think Jonathan Taylor and the running backs will punch it in, but I know Sheiken, he's going to have the Richardson punch a few in. I hope they tame him down from running the ball. So I'm going to go his under rushing total and over his touchdown 7.5.
See, I'm actually going to go the other way. I'm going to not take him for his rushing touchdown, but I am going to take him over 525.5 rushing yards because, yes, they are going to limit him, I think, because they want to limit the injury.
We hope.
Yeah, we hope. But
we don't think nothing.
We hope. But at the end of the day, he's going to do what he wants to do sometimes. And I think that's all he knows sometimes is just to dip. And we see it with Lamar too. Yeah, he's cut down his running, but he still almost averages 700 yards a season. I said he's Lamar, but the guy has some legs, and he's a big guy. Anthony Richardson's not a small quarterback. He is a fucking big guy. He's 6'4", 250, kid.
He's like a Cam Newton.
People
got to remember, Cam Newton was 6'5", 250.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson has a similar build structure, so.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I just hope he gets down. To me, he should have conversations with like RG3 and Michael Vick to show him, yes, you could be very dangerous with his legs, but for you to be a successful quarterback, to have a 10-plus year career,
you got to get down.
So I think you got to talk to Michael Vick. You got to talk, maybe some of the
even like Ben Roethlisberger.
That's why I say even the veterans. Maybe not some of your the younger players now like Lamar's and whatnot, because they might not give you the game. But some of these older veterans players, they will definitely look out.
Yeah, so I'm going to take his over rushing. I'm going to stay away from the rushing touchdown at 7.5. Now, if we look to passing, it's at 3,150.5, minus 112 both ways. And his throwing touchdowns is at 17.5. Over is at minus 120. Under is at minus 106. Yeah, I'm going to flip-flop. I'm going to stay away from the passing yards, but I am going to go over 17.5 touchdowns just because I like what they added. We can't really take much away from last season. He only threw 3 touchdowns, but we have Michael Pittman Jr., who I think could develop into a top 10 receiver. He's probably top 15, top 20, but he's very good. You got Adrian Mitchell, who I think is really going to help downfield. You got the new tight end Woods, who I like as well. Josh Downs, I think he's good in the slot. Got your boy Alec Pierce as well. There are pieces there. It's not the best. It's not the most shiniest receiving core, but they're productive. And I think, they're solid. They're productive. And I trust in Shane Steichen, and I think he will get them open. So I'm going to go over 17.5 touchdowns. I think this offense could find a new gear. So I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to go under his passing yards.
Still, I'm gonna tell you the main reason why I'm gonna go over both of these numbers. Still, what we saw from Jalen Hurts in his second year was a more developed passing game, more confidence under Shane Steichen. And I think that's what we're going to see from Anthony Richardson. I'm not saying he's going to go to the Super Bowl now. I'm not saying he's going to win 13, 12 games like Jalen Hurts did his second year one night. He's going to be – I'm not saying that, people. All I'm saying is I expect him to be much better at throwing the ball than he was his rookie season. That's all. I think he'll be more confident. I think the coaching staff will be more confident in it as well. I think 31.50.5 is just a short number if he's going to play 17-plus games. If you're telling me he's going to get hurt, miss 4 or 5 games, you got it. But if this kid plays 17-plus games, I just feel like the direction they have to be in, and not being a pass-first offense, but just making him develop and make him more comfortable in the pocket, I think you have to be. So I like this number. I think it's too short. If he plays the full season, 31.50.5 is just too short, though. So give me the over passing and give me the over touchdowns as well. 17.5 is just too short. You're telling me basically his over under touchdowns, rushing and passing is about 25, 26. To me, that's just a little disrespectful, though. I think he gets at least 20, 25 passing touchdowns, and I think he punches in running possibly 8 to 10 times. So give me Richardson over passing 31.50.5 and over at 17.5 touchdowns.
All right, let's get to the running back, Jonathan Taylor. His rushing prop is at 1,050.5 minus 112 both ways. Rushing touchdowns is at 8.5. He only had a few games last year, but he still racked up 741 yards, 7 touchdowns. He averaged 4.5 yards per pop. I guess the question is, can he get back to that 1,000-yard mark that we're accustomed to seeing? First 2 years out of the league, out of Wisconsin, he was racking up 1,000 yards like it was left and right. I think 2021 was that career year. He had 1,800 yards. 2022, he had a little of a drop-off. He still rushed for 861.5. He got hurt. And then last year with a contract. So he's missing some time now. Hopefully, barring injury, doesn't miss any time. Can he get back to that 1,000-yard mark, kid?
Absolutely, Dale. Give me Jonathan Taylor over 1,050.5. To be honest, this number is too short. You got one of the best offensive lines of football. Him having a full season, he had, I think, 741 yards last season in just over 10 games. Give him about 5, 6, 7 extra games. He'll go well over this mark. He had 7 touchdowns last season in about 10, 11 games. Give him 16, 17 games. He's going to go well over this mark. So give me the over 1050.5. It wouldn't shock me if Jonathan Taylor is one of the league leaders in rushing. So I think it is worth a sprinkle for Jonathan Taylor to lead the league in touchdowns rushing at plus 1,500 and then lead the league in rushing at plus 750, just because we know he's going to get the attempts behind one of the best offensive lines in football. And if he can stay healthy, Dale, and let's just say the Colts are a winning team, they have to run down the clock late in games. Jonathan Taylor is going to be liable for rushing yards to lead the league and touchdowns. So I think it's a sprinkle on both, but give me the over 7.5 touchdowns. That number is too short. I think Jonathan Taylor got at least 9 to 10 plus, and 1050.5. I understand why it's a little low for his sake, but we know that if he's healthy, he plays 15 plus, he equals over 1,200 every time.
100%. I was going to ask you if you think he could lead the league in rushing. He has the second shortest odds at plus 750.
Absolutely.
I think,
Indoor team, one of the best offensive lines in football. Absolutely, he has a shot, Dale.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think for me personally, I just would need a better number than plus 750. But I agree on
even real quick, even the favorite CMC, he's plus 650. So it's not like a clear cut, So your boy Breece Hall is at 1,000.
Of course.
Who would have thought Breece Hall is top 3 to lead the league in rushing? I understand Aaron Rodgers come back from an Achilles and whatnot, but damn.
I mean, he is one of the best running backs in the league.
But he's not top 3 now. Let's just be honest.
He's getting
nice.
there.
He's nice.
He's getting
not
there.
top 3. That's all.
Yeah, but I think he's gonna get back to his mark. I think he's gonna get over 1,000. Like you said, he missed a few games last season. He almost had it. He had 741. He had 7 touchdowns. That was the big thing last year as well. They were really giving him the ball, and I like him. I mean, they they got Simeon. They got Traymon Simeon. Shout out the Ohio State, but like he's their backup. I think they're gonna lean really heavily on Jonathan Taylor, especially take some pressure off of Anthony Richardson. So yeah, I think he gets back to his rookie days or his sophomore year where he went for 1,800. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if he led the league in rushing, like you said, top 5 offensive line, playing indoors as well. And
Creative head coach.
yeah, creative head coach. A lot of their games are indoors too, especially with playing in Texas as well. So, yeah, I like him to have over 8.5 rushing touchdowns. That's at -108. I like him to go over 1,000 yards as well at -112. And then the only other person I think we could talk about is their number 1 receiver, Michael Pittman Jr. He got paid deservingly so. His receiving prop is at 975.5 receiving yards, -112, and his touchdowns only at 5.5. I get that. I mean, he only had 4 touchdowns last season. 2022, he had 4 touchdowns as well. 2021, he had 6, and 2020, he had 1. So only 1 year in his 4-year career, he's gone over it. So that's why I kind of stayed away from the touchdown. But I mean, to get 1,000 yards, he had 1,100 last year with Gardner Minshew. No disrespect, Gardner Minshew balled out. Let's call it what it was. He balled out. I think that goes to Shane Steichen as well a little bit, but he had 1,100 yards. He almost got there in 2022. He had 925. 2021, he had 1,000 yards as well. And in his rookie year, he had 500. So I think he gets back to 1,000 yards. And like I said, I expect a better passing attack from Anthony Richardson this season. So I'm going to go over his 975.5 receiving yards, but I'm going to stay away from the touchdowns because I think Jonathan Taylor might get some. I think Anthony Richardson might run in for some. Pierce, Adrian Mitchell might get some as well. So I think the wealth is going to be spread around, but I do think he gets his yards.
Yeah, still. I agree with you 100%. Give me the over 975. His last year, he went over 1,152. 2022, he had 925. Basically, right there at that number. Pretty sure Jacoby Brissett was his quarterback with others. In 2021, look at that still. 88 receptions, 1,082 yards, 6 touchdowns. That's a great second year. So I think Michael Pittman Jr. is live to easily go over his total touchdowns. The number, with the yards, with the number on the touchdowns, though, I do agree with you. I'm going to stay away. But if Anthony Richardson is healthy, it wouldn't shock me. Michael Pittman goes for his career high in touchdowns in a season, which will be over 6. So I think he could easily go over the 4.5 number. I'm not going to bet it, but we'll bet over 975.5.
And I also think a good reason, God forbid, and hopefully it doesn't happen, but they do bring in a really good backup quarterback just in case Anthony Richardson gets hurt. Here comes in Super Bowl MVP Joe Flacco. So, I mean, he can sling the ball. So, God forbid he does get hurt again. I mean, they're in good hands. Look what he did last year, bringing the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs. So, yeah, I like that move as well. But that's all I got here for the Colts. Did I miss anything or anything else you wanted to reach or talk about?
No, that's about it. That's all I got. All I have.
All right, let's go to the Jaguars. Another very interesting team with Dougie P. You got Press Taylor as well as their OC.
Jaguars,
Texans. I talked about the Jaguars. You got the Texans.
I thought it was Texans Colts today.
No, I think because we're gonna have Moonoff on for Friday. We're gonna talk Texans on Friday. That's right. My fault. I did Jaguars. I'll start us off, so I'll let you dive in real quick. But
I'll just go in my notes.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of been consistently average, I'll say. You know, they did take a nice step up from 21 to 22. They went 9-8. Then they kind of stayed the same last year, 9-8 last year as well. Trevor Lawrence, you know, I think he took a step back. I know he got paid, but I do think he took a step back last year. They do bring in Gabe Davis. I think that's good, but they wind up losing Calvin Ridley. They lost some guys, but, you know, Eric Armstead, big player up on defensive tackle from the 49ers. I thought that was a big move for their defense. Like I said, they bring in Gabe Davis. They got Denard Savage as well for their secondary as well. I think that's a good move. Mitch Morse, they bring in their starting center as well. You know, their win total at 8.5. I'm not going to touch their Super Bowl. It's at 45-1 to win the AFC is at 23-1. And for their division, they have the third best odds. Oh no, they have the second best odds at plus 270. I'm sorry. I was looking at that wrong. Yeah, they have the second best odds at plus 270. I'm not going to touch it because I do like Houston a lot. Not going to touch them to win the AFC or the Super Bowl, but for their win total, I am going to take it. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the under 8.5. First 13 weeks because they have their bye at week 12. First 13 weeks are very, very tough. They have a very tough schedule. 8 of their 12 games before their bye are teams that made the playoffs in 2023. So I do think they start off slow against the gate. First 4 games, 3 of them are on the road. Miami, Buffalo, and Houston on the road at home against Cleveland. There's a real possibility they start 1-3. Like, I truly believe that. Then they're home against the Colts, which we're all high on. I think that's a coin flip game. Then they're on the road against the Bears. We'll see. They should win that game, but we'll see that they're in that's international as well. So we'll see how that plays out. They're home against New England. They should win that game. They're home against Green Bay. Then they're on the road against the Philadelphia Eagles. They're on the road against Detroit Lions. They're home against the Minnesota Vikings. They should win. Then they have their bye, and their first game off the bye, week 13, is at home against Houston. That's those games. I don't know if they win 5-6 games out of that 13 games, really. And then the last 5 games are easier games. Tennessee, Oakland, Tennessee twice. They get Indianapolis, and then they get the Jets. So a little easier on the tail end of the season. But first 3 weeks, kid, very tough. Since 2021, the Jaguars have only played 40 games in which they committed at least 1 turnover. Only 4 teams have more with at least 1 turnover in that time. 13 of 17 games last season, the Jags had a turnover. Their defense has failed to record a takeover in 19 games over the last 3 seasons. They have to do a better job in the turnover battle. They have to. If they don't, they're going to lose a lot of these games. And like I said, as much as I like Travis Etienne, their run game has not been good. The Jags run game fell to the bottom 10 in the league when it comes to significant stats. They rank 30th in the league in yards per carry, 29th in EPA per attempt, and 27th in success rate. They just struggle to produce explosive runs, this team. And I think that comes because I really don't trust their offensive line either. Offensive line ranks 25th in the league. Receiving core, 21st. Secondary, 27th. Now, they have a good quarterback. I do like Trevor Lawrence. I think he's a top 15 quarterback. I like their running back. Like I said, I like Travis Etienne. Their front 7, I do think they made it a big upgrade with Armstead. I like their coach. I like Dougie Peterson. He's proven he could win the big game, but I'm just really not high on this team. I think they struggle out of the gate, kid. So I'm going to go under 8.5 wins.
To be honest, though, I gotta go there as well. You know me. I'm a bigger fan than the Jaguars than you are. You know, I respect Dougie P. I love Trevor Lawrence. I think he could be special. I got him higher than top 15, but I can't agree because I can't put him in the top 10 right now. To be honest, I think the Jaguars' opening schedule is one of the toughest in the league. You know, to go to Miami at home against the Browns, and then at Buffalo, at Houston. That's just
tough.
That's tough. You know, yeah. So I do agree with you. Good chance they might start 1-3. Good chance, just because it's gonna be hard to win in Miami week 1. Like, bro, it's gonna be like 98. So 1 o'clock. Like, it's gonna be hard to win that game. At home against the Browns, I give you a shot. I'll give you a shot against the Browns. In Buffalo, I doubt you win that game. In Houston, I'll give you a split, but you're not winning in Houston. Against the Colts, still, me and you are high on the Colts. That's a tough game. Against Chicago, the Bears might be getting it together come October.
Yeah.
Say they were playing the Bears week 3, I give them the win. Week 5? I don't know. Against the Patriots, I'm going to give them a win. Green Bay, they're at home against the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to see Jordan Love comes in and does his thing. On the road against the Eagles, tough. At home against Vikings, I'm going to give them that. On the road in Detroit, after last season, I think every team is going to struggle in Detroit. That place is going to be rocking. At home against Houston, that's a tough game. And then you got Tennessee, the Jets, Raiders, Tennessee again, and the finish at the Colts. I'm going to go under 8.5, though. I just don't see it. I feel like the AFC is too good for a mediocre team in the Jaguars to oversee the 8.5 win. So give me the under 8.5. Don't get me wrong, I respect WP. I love Trevor Lawrence. Can they go over this number? If Trevor Lawrence take that step to be a top 10 quarterback consistently, yes. I love Evan Ingram. Christian Kirk, for some reason, Trevor Lawrence and him have a great connection. Travis Etienne at times, especially the first half of the season, he plays like a top 5 running back. And then after the first 8-10 games, he kind of drifts off, and he's not as consistent as he was the first few games of the season. So to me, it's just gonna be hard for this Jaguars team to overcome not just the division but the loaded AFC East. Loaded AFC. So I'm gonna go under 8.5 wins as well.
Yeah, I mean, I do actually like their receiving core. I just worry. And hey, if Trevor Lawrence doesn't pan out, they brought in your boy Mac Jones. He's backup. They bring in Gabe Davis. Christian Kirk is their number one. He's really good. I like Evan Ingram. They gave him the contract last year, and they draft a guy out of LSU who we're all really high on, and Brian Thomas Jr. as well. He's going to be plugged in right away. So I like their receiving core. I really do. But they're favorites in 8 games. They're underdogs in 9. When I looked at their schedule initially, I counted 6 wins, and I was like, nah, they're not going to 6 games. That's too low. And then I gave them 1 here, 1 there, split here, there, and I still only counted 8, kid. I did it like 3 times. As much as I wanted to, I just don't see it. So, yeah, I'm going to go under. Let's start with the player props. Or real quick, did you have anything on the division or conference or Super Bowl? Anything? No,
but I do have to win it. I finally found it, though. To win exactly 8 games plus 600. So
wow.
If you're confident they're going to win 6 games or even 7, try to find the exact wins. And that's the number, Dill. Exactly 8 wins at plus 600. I love that play.
I do like that. Good value, too, at plus 600. I like that. Let's go to the receiving core because, like I said, I think Christian Kirk is their number 1 receiver. Coming off a pretty good season. Not his best because, like I said, I do think Trevor Lawrence kind of took a dip from his rookie season. I think expectation was kind of high as well. Number 1 quarterback coming out of the draft. He had 57 catches for 787 yards. Touchdowns were not there. Only 3 touchdowns. This year, 4.5 touchdowns is his number. Minus 118 towards the over. Minus 108 towards the under. I'm going to stay away from the touchdowns, just like because I mentioned there are so many mouths to feed. Evan Ingram, you got Brian Thomas Jr., you got Gabe Davis, who's going to get a few here and there. Travis Etienne, Trevor Lawrence might even run in a few as well. So I'm going to stay away from the touchdowns. Over 900 receiving yards, I'm going to go over because I feel like this number is too low. Let's look back a year, 2022. He had 1,100 receiving yards. He was really good. 982. He went over in 2021 as well. 2020, 621 yards. And 2019, he had 709. So he's roughly around a 700 to 1,100 receiver. I think at 900, I think you got to expect Trevor Lawrence to have a better year. You just have to. He got the contract. I think Doug Peterson develops into a better play caller, gets more creativity with Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to take the over. I'm going to believe in Christian Kirk this season.
Yeah, this is my favorite play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Christian Kirk, if he finishes the season last year, he goes well over 1,000 yards. It was shocking to me that after a few weeks of the season, he became their number 1 wide receiver. I thought Calvin Ridley was going to take up that step, but for some reason, him and Trevor Lawrence never really got the connection we expected them to have. So shout out Christian Kirk. To me, he stepped up to the plate, and while he was playing, he was playing at a very high level. So if Christian Kirk finishes the season, I expect to go way over 1,000 yards. So give me over 900.5 at minus 112. I feel like that number is too low, Dill.
Let's go to the running back, Travis Etienne, because like I said, I did like Travis Etienne. I still do. I won't say I don't. Coming out of Clemson, he was a first-round pick. A lot of people didn't think he deserved to be a first-round pick. His first year, didn't play, got hurt immediately. But come 2022, first technically year, he rushed for over 1,100 yards. It was a really good year. He had 5 touchdowns as well. He even caught 335 balls out of the backfield as well. Now, last year, yeah, they gave him the ball a lot. He was 4th in all the league in carries, 267 carries. So they gave him the ball a lot, but he only had 1,000 yards. Can he get 1,000 yards again this season? Yes, because like I said, now as much as it's not that I don't like their offensive line. I worry about them. A lot of them are older. They're not the best, and they struggled last season, especially getting around the edge. I mentioned the numbers last season: 27th in success rate, 30th in the league in yards per carry. So yeah, he rushed for 1,000 yards, but he was only averaging 3.7 yards per pop. That's not a successful strategy in the NFL. You're not going to do well. So I'm going to take a flyer on him. I don't love it, kid. I'm going to stay away from the touchdowns at 7.5. He had 11 last season. That was in the top 10. 2022, he only had 5, though. Going to stay away from the touchdowns, but I do think he'll get 1,000 yards just because I think he's a workhorse and they're going to give him the ball over 250 times. So I think he gets it. Now, I don't love it, but I do think he gets it because I do worry about that offensive line.
Yeah, Dale. And real quick, just to go back a little bit, I couldn't find no Evan Ingram props, but best believe if you could find them out there, if they pop up sometime next month before the season, give me Evan Ingram over his total, Dale. Whatever it is, I'm going to guess it's going to be around 600, 700 yards receiving, maybe around 6 something. I think he go over that mark. I think Evan Ingram is a top 5 tight end when healthy. To me, he's a stud. And with Trevor Lawrence, we saw in the back half of the last season when Christian Kirk was out, he kind of became the number 1 receiver in the late of the season. So I wouldn't be shocked if he's like heavily involved in the passing game this season either. So I like Evan Ingram over his numbers, touchdowns and receiving. With Travis Etienne, Dill, I kind of agree with you. I do like his over 900.5. I don't love it, but I do think Travis Etienne is a 1,000-yard back for sure. So I think he goes over this number. I don't love it, but the touchdowns number, though, I think he goes over the touchdown mark at 7.5. He had 11 last season. I understand a couple years ago he only had 5, but we know Travis Etienne is the true number 1 back for this team. I feel like they're gonna run the ball less with Trevor Lawrence. I think in the goal line, they're gonna just hand it off to Travis Etienne and let him finish the show. So I think at 7.5, I think that's a great number for him. I think he gets anywhere from 8 to 10.
All right. And then the last guy we could the reason I didn't mention Evan Ingram is because I didn't see any props, which is surprising.
Yeah.
Because he is a really good tight end. I think he gets a lot of productivity. Let's go to Trevor Lawrence. Like I said, down year, but he still threw for 4,000 yards, which is crazy. Not the touchdowns weren't there. He did have a lot of interceptions. He had 21 touchdowns. He threw for 4,000 yards. Rookie year is the only year he didn't throw for 4,000 yards, but 2022, he threw for 4,000 yards. Last year, he threw for 4,000 yards. In his rookie year, he threw for 3,641 yards. So his numbers at 3,775, even as a down year, he still was able to get to 4,000 yards. I think you have to go over this with all the talent he has on just the tight end, with bringing in Brian Robinson Jr. I like that. Christian Kirk, we expect a big year as well. Gabe Davis, they brought in. Even Travis Etienne can catch the ball out of the backfield as well. I got to go. I think he gets 4,000 yards again.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Dale. 37.75 is just a little too short. Just because even his rookie season with the great Urban Myers,
Shout
the kid
out.
had 3,600, and that receiving core was hurt.
Yeah,
it was a hurt. They had what? Chalk Jr.
They went 3-14, kid.
Yeah, it was a bad team.
Yeah.
And the kid threw for 3,600.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's 37.5. I understand he missed 2-3 games last season, but even if he misses 2-3 games, he went over 4,000 yards, and I expect the offense and the team to at least be a little more consistent. I expect the offense to be, at least Trevor Lawrence to be a little more consistent. I expect him to have a little better than the season last year. So I think 37.75 is just too short. And then give me the over 21.5 touchdowns still. Don't get me wrong, I understand he went for 21 last season. But like I said, he missed a couple games. Him and Calvin really wasn't really had a good connection, and Christian Kirk couldn't finish the season. I guarantee you, Christian Kirk finishes the season, he goes over his touchdown mark, and so does Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, so the touchdown prop is at 21.5, minus 118 towards the over. I would lean over. I'm staying away from it, but I would lean over. I was going to ask you if it worried you. He's only gone over this once in his 3 years into the league, and it was 2022 where he had 25. I think that was his best year as a pro, the first year of Dougie P. Yeah, exactly. So rookie year, obviously, it was just a bad team, but he still had 12 touchdowns. He was forcing a lot of things also. That's why he had 17 picks. But yeah, I mean, gun to my head, I probably would lean over. There's a lot of mouths to feed. And, I think they're going to be down because we mentioned how hard their schedule is. There are going to be times or garbage time where he's just racking up the points, racking up the yards. So, excuse me, I would lean over his passing touchdowns as well. But that's all I got, kid. Anything else for the Jacksonville Jaguars?
No, that's about it. I don't love them as much as I did last year. I thought the Jacksonville Jaguars was possibly gonna, win the division. Honestly, I did pick them to win the division last year. Not as heavy on them this year as I was last year.
Yeah, we'll take care of Houston and Tennessee as well for Friday. We'll hopefully have some guests on to break down those two teams.
Well. I like Tennessee as well. I haven't looked at their schedule yet. I'm going to probably today or tomorrow. Real
quick, though, we have some breaking news. Adam Schefter just tweeted. Jordan Love sitting out of camp until contract extensions can be working at. We were just talking about, guys not having leverage. You think off of one good year, he has that much leverage where he could kind of just sit out?
Yes. You know why? Name me the backup quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. I'll wait.
I can't right now.
I know you can't. I can't. They can't. That's the problem, Dill. When you have a potential face of your team, Jordan Love is that. Jordan Love is, and in many people's eyes, is a top 10 quarterback coming into this season. I think without Jordan Love, the Green Bay Packers have zero chance of making any noise this season. So he has all the leverage, Dill. You can't name me their backup.
Yeah, I can now. I just looked him up. Sean Clifford.
Who?
Don't disrespect my man. Sean Clifford. Come on now. Great Penn State quarterback.
Who?
Exactly.
Joe Flacco was available?
Not anymore.
No, but I'm saying he was.
They believe in Sean Clifford.
Who?
Don't disrespect Sean Clifford.
I'm dead ass. Did he even start at Penn State?
Yeah. No, he started at Penn State. I mean, people don't get drafted because they're backups. But yeah, I mean, he's sitting out.
You better get my boy Perez from the UFL.
Facts. My boy Perez, he was out there dealing, winning championships. He didn't win the Big Ten. I'm just saying. No, but shout out Sean Clifford. But yeah, he is sitting out until contracts.
As he should
get finalized. I was
95%
hearing
95% of America doesn't know Sean Clifford.
I was not looking. I was reading reports. They're saying Jordan Love might make $250 million.
300.
That's we were talking about Evan Mobley. Like that's crazy. Kid.
Evan Mobley's not considered a top 10 player.
He's a top 10 at his position.
So is Jordan Love.
I don't agree. I don't think off of one good year. I don't agree. Is he good? Did he take that huge step? Absolutely. But top 10? We can't even put Trevor Lawrence in the top 10.
He's better than Trevor Lawrence.
I don't agree. I don't agree.
Trevor Lawrence is better than Jordan Love?
I don't think so. Off of one good year, Trevor Lawrence has actually done it.
What have Trevor Lawrence done?
I want to look up his numbers now. Jordan Love. Hold up. Let me look this up real quick because you're acting like this man is.
He has more. Yeah, search up the numbers.
Yeah, he threw. Yeah, so obviously 2021 didn't play. 2022 he threw for. He
played 2 games.
Yeah, didn't play. So last year we could only base this off of 1 year compared to 2 years of Trevor Lawrence. 32 touchdowns, second in the league. 11
10 more than Trevor Lawrence has ever thrown in his career. 7 more. I apologize. That's has he ever thrown in his career.
I'll say this: it's because of LaFleur. He's better than Dougie P. I'm high on LaFleur.
You came around.
I told you. I came. I like to just make fun of his name, but he's offensive guru. I love LaFleur. I actually do. Ain't two for 4,100 yards, 7th in the league.
Top 10. Both of them scream top 10. Still, I'm not arguing or justifying. I'm just telling you what the numbers say. Both of those numbers that you just said. Hold on. Now go to interceptions.
11.
What was that?
104th in the league. So
last
not,
year?
yeah, 11. Yeah. So it's good. The bigger the worse. So
104?
if you, yeah, because if he had, let's just say 17, he would be ranked fifth in all most. Yeah. So the worse the number.
We just went over 3 major categories as a quarterback, and he's top 10 in all 3. Dude,
I think you're confusing. You're thinking I don't want him to get paid. I don't want him to get paid. I think he deserves to get paid. I just don't think it's $300 million for 1 year.
I'm just
what God forbid. Yeah, I know. But like, God forbid he has a slump. Kind of like what Trevor Lawrence did. He kind of went down a little bit. Does he really deserve that money? He deserves to get paid. And I think what he did with Green Bay, I think they have their quarterback for the next 10, 15 years. I'm a Jordan Love fan. I just think not at this number. Let him work a little bit for it.
Question.
Yes.
For the next 4 years,
who
do you think is going to be a better quarterback, Jordan Love or Kirk Cousins?
I'm going to go on a limb and say Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to believe
I said Jordan Love or Kirk Cousins.
Oh, I don't even think he plays 4 years, so I would obviously say Jordan Love. I don't think that's fair.
Kirk Cousins got $200 million, and you just said he's not sure if he's going to play
but Kirk Cousins has also developed and shown that he could produce into the league. This is his first year actually playing.
And
Kirk Cousins
he had a top 10 year. So I can make the case he will be better the next year and the next.
I guess I can make the case that if you take him off of Green Bay, does he have those same numbers?
You can't make that case. You know why? Because he is a Green Bay Packer.
I know, make that case. But if you take LaFleur and you take all those things off, I don't know if he puts those numbers up. I think LaFleur does a really good job putting him in a good position, calling the right plays.
People can say that about any quarterback, though.
I guess.
We're not saying what ifs. We're going with what's going on. And what's going on as of right now, Jordan Love had a top 10 season last year in all major categories.
Yeah, he did. He did have a top 10 season, but I'm saying I personally speaking, I just can't pay a guy for one good season. Will he have multiple seasons of that? Hopefully.
But whose fault is that? That's the Green Bay Packers for holding on for Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers, yeah, of course.
So who says Jordan Love doesn't do this for 3 years straight?
Yeah, he could, or he might not. Who knows? But I do think they need to pay him before the season. I think we could both agree on that. They need to get this deal done.
I'm making the case why he deserves to get paid because
I think he deserves to get paid. I truly do, but just not at this number. And I could honestly make I know you don't agree, but outside of Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, and I'm going to give it to Brock Purdy, I would say Jordan Love is the 4th best quarterback in the NFC. Truly. Matthew Stafford's old. I was going to give it to Kyler, but
Jalen Hurts,
Dak Prescott, who else?
That's the thing, Dill. You just made my case. He's a top 5 quarterback in the NFC.
I agree. That is my point as well.
He's a top 5 quarterback in the conference.
He is. Not at that number, though.
Dill.
Jared Goff as well.
That's
I agree.
The number, though. All right, put it like this. You can't honestly 100% say Trevor Lawrence is better.
I can't.
You can't, right?
No, I can't.
Trevor Lawrence makes more than every guy you just named.
Unfortunately, yes.
No, it's not unfortunate. That's just the number, Dill. That's the going rate for a starting quarterback. So it's not what you feel. What's the number is. Trevor Lawrence is the second high. I think Joe Burrow's number 1. Trevor Lawrence makes more than Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers. He's not better than none of those guys. But guess what, Jacksonville, they had to pay him. Guess what? Green Bay, they got to pay him. So if Jordan Love say, I'm not playing for nothing less than a 5-year, $300 million deal, guess what Green Bay's going to do? Give him 301.
Gun to your head.
And be thankful.
Gun to your head, before the season starts, does Jordan Love sign for over 250 or under 300 or in that middle range?
Oh, I think he signs for what Joe Burrow got, or what like that. I say 5-year extension between 250, 270 max. Because I think Lamar got what, 260?
So Joe Burrow got 5 years, 275.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say Love is 5 years, 260. Because Lamar got 5 years, 262, I think. What Lamar got?
Yeah, I'll look that up real quick. He has to get lower than those guys.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but he's gonna get that number. He's gonna get 50.
It was. You're right. 5 years, 260.
Look at that. So you got
250 is the starting number, right?
Deshaun Watson got 250,
and look how bad he's become. That's my worry. Thank you. That is my worry. You pay a guy like that, and then he winds up shitting the bed, and you kind of invest all of your money. Yeah,
but the difference between the two, Jordan Love is not coming off 2 years off.
That's fair.
You know, Deshaun Watson could easily still be a Pro Bowler this upcoming season. We saw it at times. Our concern is he's not as consistent as he was in Houston, but we saw at times he's still a potential top 10 quarterback. That's not the question. The question is, can he be consistent enough like he once was? What I saw from last season, I think Jordan Love solidified as a top 10 quarterback, and he's going to get paid as a top 5. But moving forward, though, I think Jordan Love deserves that money, and he will earn that money.
I agree. I think he deserves the money. I just really hope for his sake and for the Green Bay Packers' sake, because as much as I don't like the Packers, I think football is better when they're good. So for their sake, hopefully it could turn into a 10, 15-year relationship. But yeah, he is sitting out, and I do think he gets around 250. Would I pay it? I don't know. I'd be worried.
You will pay it.
But that's it.
Give Aaron Rodgers right now $250.
I'll give him everything I got. But he's a Super Bowl winning champ. He's an MVP. This guy isn't.
I understand that, though. I understand that. But when the season is done, let's compare the stats and let's compare the paycheck.
I can't wait to come back in about 6-7 months, and we'll talk about it. But any last words before we get up out of here, kid?
No, let's just everybody have a great week. Enjoy your days, and about 52 or 3 days till football. So
yeah,
40 something.
Elvis got the countdown ready. We're less than a week. No, we're about a little over a week. I think a week and a half until it's the first week of August. We have the Hall of Fame game, so we'll be betting on that as well. But like Elvis said, we're about 40 something days away from first Wednesday, I think, in Brazil. I cannot wait for that. But that's going to do it, kid, for this Monday edition of the Dream Wager. On behalf of our sponsor, Viva Tequila, Elvis, myself, make sure you guys follow along our social media, Twitter and Instagram at the Dream Wager. You guys can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe, rate, give us a review. Leave in the comments who you like this upcoming NFL season. We want to hear all about it. But be a friend, tell a friend. Everyone have a great few days, and we'll see you guys on Friday. Peace.